How technology influences our perception and interaction with video games is at the fundamental core of this channel. Even more so, observing how the form or shape of technology relates to how we use it to generate our own experiences with video games is pretty much the guiding principle on how I come up with ideas for videos. And if there's one piece of consumer tech I could point to as embodying exactly the type of nerdery this channel's about, it'd be this, the Genki Shadowcast by Human Things. I've been using this tiny capture card for a few years, and it's been possibly the most useful tech tool in my arsenal. With the launch of Human Things' Kickstarter for their sequel device, I figured it might be fitting to show off their original concept and tell y'all why it's been so impactful for my use cases. Human Things launched the Shadowcast on Kickstarter in 2020 as a device to let you play a docked Switch using only a laptop. The idea they presented was that playing on the Switch in tabletop mode can get a bit cramped, and sometimes folks might want a bigger display to play their games, but don't have access to or space for a larger monitor. Thus, they created a device that can easily, covertly fit into a Switch's dock and convert the video feed to something recognizable by whatever computer folks had on hand. More importantly, it's recognized by the USB end as a standard webcam, reducing processing requirements from the receiving end and making it easily compatible with a ton of different software. Even better yet, if I want to use it with a laptop that doesn't have the processing resources to run OBS well, or a similar app, there's a web app that runs inside Chrome and can interface directly with the Shadowcast. It's not the most feature-rich software available, but there's something to be said about being able to use a 7-year-old Chromebook as an external display, or not having to fiddle with OBS to start playing a game. Honestly, it's an incredibly interesting device on its face. Anytime I've gone traveling overnight somewhere, I'll typically take a Shadowcast alongside one of their covert docks, in case I get the itch to play my Switch on a larger screen. After plugging it into a dock and connecting it to a laptop, it just kind of works without fail or fuss, which is not the experience I've traditionally had with my more expensive Elgato capture cards. If that were the extent of a Shadowcast use cases, I'd still quickly recommend it to anyone wanting a compact docked travel setup with their Switch. But outside traveling, I honestly don't really use it with my Switch very much, if I'm being honest. Instead, I use it to adapt anything else I have that'd be inconvenient to connect to a monitor. For some easy examples, months ago, I showed off a handheld dual screen setup with my Steam Deck. A Shadowcast was at the heart of that setup, connecting the Steam Deck directly to my Fold 4. Any other capture card would have greatly increased the heft and bulk of that setup. Since I published my Analog Pocket Dock video, I've gotten more than a few comments asking how I captured gameplay for that video on my MacBook Pro. The answer is plugging in a Shadowcast. In fact, when I initially attempted to use my other cards, they were unable to even process the signal from the dock properly. The Shadowcast, meanwhile, continues to have no issues whatsoever. With a cheap upscaler, I've even used it to hook up my GameCube to a Surface device for convenient gameplay, instead of upending my living room setup with a mess of extra cables. I can have my GameCube sitting off to the side while I'm watching a movie, or recreate one of those old detachable GameCube displays I saw in Media Play back in the day. For someone like me, who's constantly exploring different ways to use different devices, or is too lazy to lug their monitors to an extra room in their house, it's an incredibly effective device. That's bolstered by the fact that I've even found it to easily tackle a lot of edge cases that my Elgato cards can't seem to handle due to various limitations. Beyond the Analog Pocket Dock example I just mentioned, when I initially got my Steam Deck, I couldn't capture footage on the device in gaming mode by connecting it directly to my Elgato 4K60. Whether due to awkward output resolutions or some weird compatibility issue, my Elgato card only showed a jumbled mess when plugged in. It'd be months until Valve fixed the issue with an option to enable more compatible resolutions on external displays. Yet, the Shadowcast failed to break a sweat. It immediately took the signal and piped it to whatever device I wanted to pair it with. As a similar issue, I've found that connecting any standard capture card directly to a PlayStation TV straight up doesn't work due to hardware-based HDCP limitations. The Shadowcast bypasses all that and treats the PSTV like any other device without so much as a hiccup. I've yet to find a single case in which the Shadowcast didn't immediately work as intended, which has been refreshing when testing HDMI output on random devices or getting quick game captures on devices that aren't playing well with my other cards. For the $39 I paid for it, it's both saved a ton of projects and made it convenient to play my various home consoles. Of course, as useful as I find it, it's not perfect. Similar to the Nintendo Switch, which it's marketed heavily around, it allows for up to 1080p video output from the USB-C connection. For most people, that'll likely be fine for playing Switch games, but it's not the best possible output resolution these days for many other devices. The actual quality of the video can also be slightly worse than more expensive cards. Increased saturation of certain colors has been a common issue for me, particularly when using their web app. I've also come across more than a few people claiming notably higher input latency while using the Shadowcast to play games. Given that it introduces an extra step to video output, there's likely a kernel of truth to that. But honestly, I personally haven't been bothered by it or really noticed it at all. Just bringing it up to say that if you're someone particularly sensitive to that sort of thing, the Shadowcast may not be for you for the specific purpose of playing games. Still, a lot of the downsides I've come across with this device are overshadowed by its sheer utility and compactness. Being able to play any game system on a larger screen, as long as I can adapt it to HDMI, without the hassle of messing with my living room setup or being stuck sitting in my office to use my main monitors, is freeing. For many projects I'll use it for, I'm not really caring about the highest possible quality or frame rate. I just need to view a device's output without a convoluted setup. Especially while knowing the limitations of what the device can do well, it's incredibly useful, and I couldn't imagine experimenting with half the setups I've attempted in the past few years without it. Those are my thoughts though. I'd love to know yours. Are you in the market for a tiny or cheap capture card like the Genki Shadowcast? Did you buy one in the past? If so, what'd you use it for? Or else, what were your thoughts on it? I'd be really interested to see how other folks have thought to use the device over the years. As always, if you found this video interesting or informative, go ahead and click the like button to let me know, and then click subscribe to get more video game tech videos in the future. I'll have a link down in the video description to the Shadowcast if you're interested. I'll also have a link to the Shadowcast 2's Kickstarter page in the description. Of course, given the caveats surrounding Kickstarter campaigns, I'm not going to recommend or dissuade you from backing that campaign, but the link will be there if you want to check it out. I've also already backed the campaign myself, and we'll have a review on this channel as soon as that starts shipping out in a few months. From the looks of the product info, the key difference is that they bumped the specs of the Shadowcast 2 from USB 2.0 to USB 3.2, which should result in better performance for devices that can make use of the device's full bandwidth, but we'll see. That's going to be all for this video though. Until next time, catch you later.